What's happening, my Jack family? Coach Scott here, jackedafter40.com. Today's video, we're going to talk about how to perform the perfect rep that's easy on your joints and helps you build muscle after 40. I think you'll find a lot of times those common shoulder niggles, low back pain, and knee issues that a lot of men after 40 experience can be traced back to times when an exercise was performed with poor form or technique, or there was some ego lifting involved. But there's also times when performing textbook form and technique can trigger those issues as well, which may seem odd, but we're going to dive into that in a moment. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that thumbs up button. I'd really appreciate it. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that alert button so you're notified each time I upload a video. If you know a fellow bro who could benefit from watching this video, do them a favor and share it with them. And more than anything, I'd love to hear from you down in the comment section below. Share your thoughts, share your insights, share your experiences. Let me know how form and technique has had an impact on developing your physique. There's two keys to performing the perfect rep for men over 40. Number one is having a heightened sense of awareness, and number two is a willingness to be playful with the movement. You should always begin by trying to perform an exercise with textbook form, but don't just go through the motions. More important than the form itself is performing the exercise with an enhanced mind-muscle connection. Are you able to feel tension in the target muscle throughout the entire range of motion, or is there an area throughout the range of motion where you kind of lose that tension? Or is there a point in the range of motion where you start to feel some discomfort, maybe even some pain? Now, some people may consider textbook form to be the perfect rep. Like visually, if you're looking at the person and it is textbook form, you may go, that is a perfect freaking rep. But if you're experiencing discomfort or pain anywhere throughout that motion, it is no longer a perfect rep for you. And this is where some modifications have to take place in order to make it a perfect rep for you. One of the best things men over 40 can do in the gym is reduce the weight a little bit and control the movement even better. If you're lifting heavier weight just for the sake of lifting heavier weight and you're using more momentum, kind of bouncing out of the bottom a little bit, you're gonna put a lot more of the tension on the tendons on the joints. Whereas if you reduce the weight just a little bit, slow that tempo down just a little bit, you'll feel all of the tension in the target muscle. That's where you're gonna experience the best growth. And if you wanna get even more bang for your buck from each rep, pause in that bottom range of the motion for a brief second there and engage that target muscle by contracting it before you lift the weight. That's gonna keep all of the tension on the target muscle and away from the joints and tendons. And just to be clear, we're not talking super lightweight here. We're not talking super slow reps. It's just slightly lighter than what you would typically use and going with a controlled movement where you're just not bouncing out of the bottom. You're not using momentum. You wanna make sure that for every square inch of that rep, you are feeling tension in the target muscle. Let's use the lateral raise as an example. And one of the cues for textbook form that I have heard from some coaches is that as you're lifting that weight up, pretend like you are pouring a pitcher of water. So your pinkies begin to lead the way on the way up. And the reason being is that when your pinkies are leading the way, the top portion of your shoulder that is upwards, it's experiencing the most resistance, is going to be the lateral aspect of your delts. Whereas when your thumb is pointing upwards, the part of your delt that is upwards receiving most of the tension is the anterior aspect of your delt, so your front delt there. Now the issue is, if you start going upwards and pitcher pouring down, if that starts to cause some issues in your shoulders, it's no longer a good, perfect rep for yourself. And that has been the case for myself. I used to do it that way all the time. It's how I instructed my clients. Pinkies lead the way, and I was thinking of an outward force. I was driving my hands outwards rather than just trying to raise the dumbbells upwards. And then just found over time, it was just starting to aggravate my shoulder there. Came across a video from Jeff Cavalier, Athlean X, and he used a great technique there. It's like, sometimes it's easier on your shoulder joints to have your thumbs pointing upwards, and the way to overcome the issue where the front of your delt is upwards is to simply lean forward a bit. So now my thumbs are pointing upwards, but now my lateral aspect of the delt is receiving the most tension. It is pointing upward. So it's almost like you're doing a bent over raise. You're not quite leaning over that much. It's just a slight lean. So you see some of my videos where I'm leaning forward a little bit for my lateral raise. It's because I got my thumbs pointing up instead of my pinkies. I'm trying to get a little bit more tension on the lateral aspect of the delt. So whether you are pinkies going upwards or thumb going upwards or palms facing straight down, you want to go with the movement that feels most comfortable to you. I know there's going to be, like, whenever I post a video, if my thumbs are pointing up, the form police are on me like crazy. Everyone likes to be a critic online, but trying to conform to some people's rules of what perfect form looks like, if it's causing discomfort and pain for you, that's just ridiculous. And like I said, a lot of it comes down to playfulness, having that heightened sense of awareness, a strong mind-muscle connection, beginning with the textbook form. And if it doesn't quite feel right to you, having that playful mindset where you're not afraid to make a subtle little change in wrist position to see if that feels any better to you. For myself, like I said, I changed that. I'm now more just the thumbs are slightly pointed up. That feels most comfortable to me. I was going with just a very slight bend in my elbows for the longest time, like almost pretty straight with my arms and just going with that outward force. And I found lately, and you'll probably start seeing it more often in my videos, is that if I have my elbows slightly bent more, I am feeling much better. I'm feeling more tension in the shoulders, less shoulder discomfort. So I've been rolling with that a lot. I'm thinking of that force going through my elbows rather than before it was like thinking of my hands going outwards towards the walls. I'm thinking of my elbows going out towards the walls and upwards as well. And I'm just feeling incredible tension on the shoulders, the muscles, less tension on the joints, less discomfort in that rotator cuff area. So it's the willingness to be playful with the movement. Experiment. Start with that textbook form, make subtle little adjustments, and go with what feels right to you. And here's the thing, it can change from workout to workout. How an exercise feels today with a certain form and technique may not feel as good the next time you perform that exercise. So don't be afraid to change it slightly from workout to workout. Be playful each and every time. Make slight, subtle little adjustments to accommodate for how you're feeling that day. You may be a little bit stiff and tight, and you're gonna have to limit your range of motion. That's okay. Like, there's workouts where I can't bring that barbell all the way down to my chest for a bench press. I stop it at the point where I feel comfortable. If I bring it any lower and I feel any kind of aggravation in my shoulder or my elbow, it's pointless to bring it any lower at that point. I'm gonna go where I feel the tension in the target muscle and get the most bang for the buck from that. It's pointless to get to that point where you're feeling discomfort and pain, because then your mind is gonna shift to the pain and discomfort rather than being focused on the target muscle. You're gonna lose that mind-muscle connection. And again, that's where the form police love to come out and ridicule you for half repping. They'll tell you you should be squatting ass to grass, but they're not inside your body. They're not feeling what you are feeling. Some of us aren't built to get really low in a squat. Maybe you can get low in a squat, but that day you recorded the video or they see you in the gym, you're just feeling tight and a lot of discomfort if you start getting too low. Whether it's in your knees or your lower back, you're doing what is best for you in that moment. They have no freaking clue. I'll see people, if I post a video and I'm not like fully extending at the top, doing a dumbbell shoulder press, like, oh, you're leaving gains at the table. I'm like, you get into my shoulders that day and see what happens. Like, see how it feels when I fully extend at the top. Most of the time, I feel incredible. If I don't fully extend in a bench press or a shoulder press that day, it's for a reason, whether it's avoiding discomfort or it's just that workout, I want to stop the rep a little bit short and feel greater tension throughout the whole range of motion there. So I could care less what other people think. What matters most to me is how I am feeling in that moment. And there's times with the lateral raise, I won't come all the way up to the top. Partial reps are just fine. If you're feeling more comfortable 3/4 of the way up that day, don't be afraid. Rather than just ditch the lateral raise that day because it doesn't feel comfortable in this tiny top portion of the movement, but it feels great for the bottom 3/4 or 80% of the movement, go with the 80% of the movement. Get a feel for it. And the whole thing is, Lifting over 40 should be fun. We should be enjoying every step of the process. We shouldn't have to be dealing with discomfort and pain all for the sake of trying to fit into this perfect textbook form. The perfect rep for you is what feels best for you. Another exercise you may see me perform differently from video to video is the hammer curl. There's times when that crossbody hammer curl feels absolutely incredible to me, and there's times where it feels discomfort in my elbow joint. And instead of crossing over, I may just go with right kind of a neutral position there, upright, straight up and down, or I may go a little bit outwards. I'm like, that feels phenomenal. Yeah, it's gonna hit the muscle groups a little bit different each day, but I'm not afraid to kind of change my plan for that day based on how I feel. I'm gonna modify my movement so I feel fantastic that entire workout. I'm not gonna do an exercise, kind of grind through it just for the sake of grinding through it and getting it done and over with. I don't wanna be feeling that discomfort and pain. I'm either gonna change. My first priority is to kind of have that heightened sense of awareness, get playful with it, see if I can change the position, change the grip, change my stance a little bit. When if it's a squat type movement, change how I'm pointing my toes out or in, my stance, wide or narrow. We're gonna play around with a few things with the movement first to see if that eliminates the discomfort. If I'm still feeling discomfort, there's a whole bunch of exercises. I talked about this in a recent video. The best exercises for men over 40 are the ones that feel good to you. There's so much variety out there that we can perform to work the target muscle group, that if something is causing us a lot of pain and discomfort all the time, no matter how we are performing it, all the little adjustments that we have made, if it's still causing discomfort, we can swap the exercise out completely. Maybe it's just that day it's just not feeling good. No matter what you do, it's not going to feel like it that day that good. You can just swap it out for that day and revisit again the next workout to see how it feels. Again, as I mentioned in that other video, there's other things you can get to the root of the problem. Maybe you're just tight. Maybe you need to do some foam rolling, get some trigger point therapy, whatever it is, to kind of get to that root of the problem and fix it, so you can enjoy that exercise again. So the big take-home message is that the perfect rep is going to look different from person to person, and even for each person it can look different from workout to workout. It can even look different within a set. If I'm performing a barbell bicep curl, it's my last set, I'm doing a last set, best set, my first 8 reps may be picture perfect, textbook form, full range of motion, great control, and then I can hammer out 3 more reps, 4 more reps, doing partial repetitions, not coming all the way up, maybe picking up the tempo a little bit, maybe not fully extending all the way at the bottom. It can be different from rep to rep, but that is perfect for me in that moment because it's producing the effect that I want to gain from it. And that's how you perform a perfect rep with control, a strong mind-muscle connection, and a sense of playfulness. Hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please hit that thumbs up button. I'd really appreciate it. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that alert button so you're notified each time I upload a video. If you know a fellow bro who would benefit from watching this video, do them a favor and share it with them. And more than anything, I would love to hear from you down in the comment section below. Share your thoughts, share your insights and feedback. Before you go, don't forget to download your free guide, Jacked After 40. Hope you have yourself an absolutely amazing day. I'll catch you in the next video.